Alright guys, we are here with the first game of the Thursday SCS edition, the Semi-Pro Cup Series. We have arguably the two best teams in the tournament. Note arguably, but it will be a very good match. Revolt Esports versus, they are called Coray, but you can see there are a few important names here. But as always, with me will be my buddy Nizcast, and we are both extremely excited for this game.
Hello all. Yes, I am excited for this. This is a round 2 match, but these are two pretty good teams. Good players on both these teams going up against each other in the second round, so we should have a good game. Good game to start off the tournament tonight.
I completely agree. You can see that on the Coray side, we have Robot Coray and your boy JC, rather common names throughout the NA scene, and then of course on the other Revolt Esports side, if you guys have played in any IXDL or played in any, I guess, higher level matchmaking games, you'll probably have seen EGA, and they're relatively common names throughout it. Kind of sad these teams have to combat early, but that's why we're here covering it. Hoping it's going to be an exciting game to bring you guys. The bans are, of course, not too exciting right now in this current patch or meta, whatever you want to call it. We see pretty general bans. The Rasta is probably the only thing that we could really touch base on because he is not as common of a first ban, though I was reading in the last week as well as watching some games that pro teams are starting to favor a Rasta first pick for various reasons. So that would kind of note for that, and of course that Brewmaster, his competitive win rate right now is something like 62%, with still being the most banned and picked hero in the game. So definitely a very well figured out hero in the competitive scene, and Faceless Void will be the first pick for Revolt Esports.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they gave him the Faceless Void in the first pick there. A lot of teams at this skill level are really scared of Faceless Void right now. They're still kind of figuring him out, but yeah, we see him get picked. We've seen him get picked actually a few times in our games in the past weeks. So yeah, we'll see how they deal with that, and they do have the ability to deal with that. They've got a Razor, so if they have to, they can make that 1v1 matchup. If they try to throw the Void in the off lane, then they can just put Razor there, go aggro, or just roam around with their two supports. So there's a lot of possibilities there. And obviously Skywrath is just a really, really strong support right now that teams are really favoring.
And of course it steals it from Revolt Esports. You don't want them to have that free Mystic Flayer setup. And to be fair, if Faceless Void makes his Chronosphere one hex wrong and gets one of his teammates and Skywrath Mage isn't in it, Skywrath Mage can of course use that Chronosphere to his advantage and net a free kill for Coray, I guess we can call them, as that Coray team. Anyways, Wraith King will be the follow-up pick, and that's usually a pretty decent answer against Razor. It does come with a caveat, though, because Razor can just, of course, sap the Wraith King. It's not like he's going to run away from the fight. Wraith King really just wants to get up into the fray, sacrifice himself, and get that slow across the entirety of Revolt Esports team. The next ban's, of course, Death Prophet. Definitely a strong decision. If you're not going to pick it, it can still affect your team when you Chronosphere, and obviously the silence makes BKBs necessary, so very strong pick to ban out here. And then the Mirana, of course, we could easily see Chronosphere into Arrow, and also the Blast, Wraithfire Blast is a decent setup for Arrow. 2 seconds is enough to line up at least a 3 or 4 second Arrow for with relative ease.
Yeah, Wraith King also roams around pretty well with another strong roaming support. Just his stun is just so strong, and if you have a Mirana on your team, and sorry, actually I'll just have to step out here. I got a cat that wants to cast as well, so just give me 1 second.
Completely understandable. We will see the Viper ban out there again, and I assume what Niz was going to touch base on, Viper is relatively similar to that. You don't want to throw the other team another tanky core. Having to deal with both Razor and Viper is incredibly hard, if not downright impossible in some situations. We will see the Tidehunter ban follow-up, or the last ban from, I believe, who is drafting? It is Rachop. And Centaur Warrunner will be the first pick in the second phase. Definitely adds to the potential, I guess the mid-game potential of their lineup, right? You can get the Razor 3 seconds of haste. It allows him to get a free 3 ticks of his static link off, which is at max level something like 70 damage. Adds it very quickly. Of course, Skywrath Mage can pursue even easier. And the other cool interaction is Stomp plus Double Edge plus Mystic Flayer is always a kill until BKBs are online. But that Tidehunter definitely a strong ban here, considering it would turn everything that Centaur wants to do on its head. All you do is press Ravage, and this fight is completely reset in Revolt Esports' favor. Right now, they really only have the Chronosphere to work with, and it's always better to have 2 abilities to reset the fight rather than 1, because 2 layers of counter initiation guarantees that you'll always be able to reset the fight in your favor.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, good to hear.
And I think she'll be quiet. She wants to watch the game, so hopefully she'll be quiet while she does so. But yeah, just echoing what you said. I don't know. I feel like both teams are actually pretty strong here. I think both teams have a lot of potential. I'm not sure what they're going to be planning to do with the Centaur and the Razor, but it does give them a lot of possibilities. When I was playing, we liked to safe lane the Centaur a lot, but we also had the possibility of running him off lane a lot. And you can do the same thing with Razor, so they have a lot of flexibility in their lineup there. Witch Doctor, it works well with Wraith King. It allows them to initiate from quite a good distance, but it doesn't really give them as much roaming potential as some other support heroes could.
Yeah, and it is worth noting that Witch Doctor is relatively squishy. He needs, once he gets that Aghanims, it's a completely different story. Or, once he gets some basic level of farm, like a Bracer and stuff like that. But Skywrath Mage Centaur can easily blow him up. That being said, however, of course, it is that kind of give and go that is always about Dota, which is, if the Chronosphere hits correctly and Witch Doctor gets a good ultimate off, it has the potential to completely clear the floor of Coray team, or the Coray team. And, that's really what they have to be looking out for. Enigma, an interesting fire back there. Enigma, they have a lot of teamfight control right now between the Blink initiation from Centaur, the potential Blink initiation from Enigma. It's kind of terrifying to play against.
It's weird. You look at that lineup and you think really greedy lanes, but at the same time they're a mid-game team. They don't really have too much to go really, really late. Like, you've got Razor, but he's not the pinnacle of endgame carrying. He's more thought of as an anti-carry, and he accelerates, not accelerates. He's really good at the middle part in the game. There's a word for that I'm trying to use there, but I can't find it. But yeah, Enigma, you're typically going to put him in the jungle. You can off-lane him, you can safe-lane him, and then go aggro, something like that. But I don't see them doing that with Centaur and Razor on their team. So it looks like they are just going to be really greedy with the Enigma jungle, and then who knows what they're going to do with the Razor and the Centaur. They're most likely going to be in separate lanes, but which one's going to be left alone, that'll wait to be seen. And the Silencer, obviously, a great response pick against the Enigma. Doesn't really do so hot against Razor or Skywrath, really. The Silence is good against Centaur when he pops his ult and they try to face rush you down. But beyond that, and of course the Enigma, but beyond that, doesn't really hurt Razor and Skywrath that much.
Mm-hmm. And it is worth noting that both are, I assume Razor and Enigma will want to rush that BKB now, so the important timing for Silencer is not obviously his first ult timing is going to be very important, but the big timing for him this game is going to be Refresher, because Refresher is that point where it doesn't matter that the enemy team is BKB, you pop that ultimate, their BKBs get popped, and you pop the ultimate again, and that's basically 8 to 14 seconds of unabated team fight. We will see the last 2 bans come out here, but yeah, I like what Revolt Esports is bringing out, but the nice thing about this is that even how this draft is going down, both teams having very strong drafts, there's still potential in the game for both teams to outplay each other and win the game. And that's what's really nice to see about, I guess, more evenly skilled matches, is that it's pretty clear that they have tools against each other. But you need to execute properly.
Yeah, I would prefer, if I were on choosing one of these teams, I'd prefer to be on the Revolt lineup right now. But it's actually it's very fragile in the sense that you could, if you make a mistake, it can go really, really wrong. You can get punished really, really hard by this Coray team, and they pick up Juggernaut, another mid-game strength hero. It's just going to punish you. Like, you can't make mistakes. They're looking for pickoffs. They're looking to put a lot of pressure on you, and we've seen a lot of teams try to do this in the early stages of SEX or SCS on Thursdays. But yeah, I don't. What are these lanes?
I feel like the Juggernaut's going to be carry, but besides the lanes, I really do like the point you're bringing up, because Juggernaut exudes that style of play. If Juggernaut snowballs, gets that Aghanims early, gets level 16, and you don't have enough money to get a Ghost Scepter on both of your supports, and, like, honestly, even Faceless Void needs to consider it, right? Puck, very good pick here, because Puck can obviously blink in, silence, can then phase shift to dodge things like a black hole turnaround, or, you know, phase shift the Omni Slash. There's a lot of utility in the Puck, so I do like that as a final pick. It gives them versatility to deal with the onslaught that's going to be coming, but I really just want to echo what Niz says. If they misstep once, Juggernaut Omni Slashes Faceless Void in the Chronosphere, whatever it is, it's going to hurt even harder than it would in a game where they were more evenly matched in what their lineups want to do, I guess.
What I really like about the Puck pick is it doesn't put as much emphasis on the Void leaping in and chronoing. The Puck can do a lot more of the initiation, and Faceless Void and Enigma, to the same extent, are heroes that like to jump into the fight after it's already started. I mean, they don't want to be lagging behind by 6-7 seconds. They want to be there, like, within a second or two of the fight starting, but they want that initial congestion to happen at the start of a fight on the engagement, so that they can, you know, pick their opportunity and then jump in immediately. And the Puck allows the Void to have better chronos just by the fact that Puck can jump in first.
Completely
So I
agree.
like that.
Well,
So-
let's go ahead and introduce our teams here. And of course, for Coray on the Radiant side, we have I Slam Dunk in the Pussy playing the Centaur War Runner. Robot playing the Razor. Middle, it looks like your boy JC, aka a player for Root. Shout out to Root Gaming for finally sponsoring a Dota team. We'll be picking up the Enigma in the jungle. We have Coray, the name title, or the namesake of the team, playing the Skywrath Mage support. And that finally leaves Retrop, the drafter in this game, as the Juggernaut in the safe lane carry position.
30 seconds to battle.
All right, on this the Dire team, Revolt Esports, we have on the Wraith King, we have Agent Flow. On the Puck, we have EGA. On the Void, we have KIAS Heart 3 Dogface hashtag SNSD. And on the Witch Doctor, we have Messino. And on the Silencer, we have Elkabed.
Well, and it looks like they are going to do some cheeky lanes. The Skywrath Mage looks to be either pure roaming or moving up into this top lane. He might go into the bottom lane, but they do make a... Whether or not they're conscious about this, they did not go into their jungle at all. Coray, that is. And so they avoid this 3-man rotation. However, this does give them the free roam to ward up the jungle, and this camp by Enigma will be warded up for 3 minutes. And this ward does handle 2 camps, but again, it's 1D ward for 2 camps of spawn.
They have actually given the Void, who's solo in the top lane, an Observer ward, and he has shown it to the Centaur here. So I wonder what they plan to do with that. But
Attempted kill on bottom lane. It is dodged, and I don't think that the aggressive tri-lane here is going to have too good of a time killing Rachop. They're going to need Silencer to drain all his mana before they can attempt any kills, and as you can see, that's already starting.
yeah, we've got Razor in this middle lane, starting with Boots first, and Enigma is smoked, moving into the to the Dire jungle here.
That's the really
think
heads-up
he's
play.
Just going to front, yeah. Okay, so he's just going to start in the enemy jungle, and that allows him to have good rotations to the middle and the top lane to put a lot of pressure on those 2 solos.
Well, and honestly, when you watch competitive games, maybe some action might come out bottom as they might force out the spin. No spells will be used here, but to finish my thought, in competitive games, you'll see people like No-Tail or Puppy or other good jungle players, they immediately go to the enemy jungle when they have devoted, 3 wards to controlling your jungle. There's just no reason to waste your resources. Smoke up, go across the map, take the free jungle.
Yeah, in this case, there's only 2 that are actually blocking spawns. So, but still, it's 200 gold that the enemy team has thrown away, and because you're across the map, they can't even pressure you in the jungle. So you're safe. So just, you're already off to an advantage just by being an Enigma, and kind of forcing that out of the enemy team.
Very well put. And top lane is relatively even right now. Not too surprising to see. Centaur is winning that out a little bit. And In the bottom lane, Retrop has really been shut down. I think that's kind of the big story of this game right now. Juggernaut is a hero that can catch up decently well, but it is worth noting that he is still a Snowball-esque hero. When he gets behind, that's not where he wants to be. He wants to get ahead and stay ahead, ideally. He's stolen up by Enigma. We'll just go straight back into the enemy jungle, and he's getting a lot done here, stacking up his camps in between the farming to maximize the amount of gold that he can get from each camp. We see actually Centaur will be bullying out Faceless Void a little bit here. He is going to have to leap over the trees. That is only 90 mana. No, he won't. He'll just go ahead and run. This will mean a few right clicks coming out for free out of the Centaur, but not too much else really happening in this game. Overall, the laning phase is actually even, as the experience is going to Robot's team, or Corey's team, as they have the Enigma, as Niz was mentioning, but also the gold going slightly in favor because of the lane dominance we're seeing so far in the first 3 minutes of the game.
I mean, this aggressive tri-lane has done wonders. Juggernaut still doesn't have any CS. He's 0-1 right now, whereas Silencer's leading at 19-4.
And EGA is doing a relatively good job keeping up with the Razor, but maybe in bottom lane the first kill might happen. Spin is used after the last word, so he will be able to cast his healing word if needed. But there goes the Curse of the Silent to remove more of that mana. We do see 1 point in it, as we'll see at level 3 if he chooses to go for his orb or 2 points in it. I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 points Curse the Silent, just to keep the Juggernaut's mana down. The lower the mana, the easier it is to dive. It's basically the logic. Agent Flow playing relatively aggressive here. We'll eat a few Arcane Bolts on the way out and pulling the Creep Wave. This actually works out. Oh no, never mind. He's doing the right thing, pulling it straight to the Dire Creep Wave, and pulls the Creep Wave Equilibrium a little bit out of the Dire, or the Radiant side tower, so that they can have more control over this. And again, you can see Rachop just getting zoned out.
Yeah, and your boy JC is doing actually a really good job of controlling these runes. Every rune has actually spawned top here, and he's taken every single one from this puck. So he's doing a good job of controlling that, as a jungler should. And
Bottom lane, there might actually be a kill this time, as they do have the last word as well. No, he does get the spin off. Is there enough right clicks? He's down to 4 HP, and no, he will survive, as Rachop was able to use those wand charges at the last second to get his spin off, allowing him to avoid most of the magical damage coming out from them. It looks like Witch Doctor wants to turn around this kill, but they shouldn't dive for it. They should know he has a salve as well as a clarity, so he will be able to turn around and fight very soon.
Yeah, Witch Doctor just pinged over here, and I wonder why he was pinging there. Maybe he wanted a rotation to the middle lane. Maybe he, thinks Enigma has hopped back in the jungle there, but that remains to be seen. If
Cass goes out bottom. They know he doesn't have enough for spin. He does have 2 wand charges. They're on cooldown. However, Wraithfire Blast does hit under the tower in the fog, so nothing going to happen out of that. We do see level 6 picked up on both of the top lane heroes. The action of this game is going to start to pick up very soon, as both of them make big differences in the way these fights will go down. Kind of a slow build-up, though.
Yeah, both teams are just actually playing this relatively safe, and just kind of get to that point in the game where they feel a lot more comfortable. Once they've gotten a couple levels up, they've got their ultimates, they've got a little bit of items. But yeah, right now I have to say the advantage has to be sort of Revolt. I think they're basically even in the middle lane. They're relatively even in the top lane.
Smoke does come out, but that was seen by Corey, and he does the right thing, runs right into that little nook right there, reveals their smoke, and that's a waste of 100 gold. So while they may be losing a little bit in this laning phase, small plays like that are a great way to get back into this game, not only literally, but psychologically. And sometimes the psychological game is just as important as the actual. And maybe actually in top, we might be seeing our first blood, as Faceless Void is chasing down on the Centaur. Stomp goes off. He doesn't actually use the double edge, which was
have a rotation mid.
Yeah, and now
but look, it's drawn out on the map. They know immediately.
Yeah, it was drawn out by Corey. Again, Robot is just going to maybe peek his head around the corner, does see them, and does dodge immediately back into the fog. They won't be able to get this kill, and this is wasting the support's rotation. And I would also like to note that the rune control from Enigma is very important in this game, as the middle Robot did not go a bottle. So he doesn't have any rune control himself, and he's just favoring CS with his tread swapping and wand charges. Looks like they want to dive this middle lane, actually, as they do pull the creep wave to this medium camp. Agent Flow and Missing Number will start to beat on this tower with the catapult, dealing some damage to it, but not too much.
Yeah, Robot did a good job of countering that by pulling the creep wave back. They weren't able to lock him down when he did that, so they weren't able to put excessive pressure on the tower because they lost their creep wave just as they took the other team's creep wave. More pressure on Centaur top.
He does
It's
go
still
down to
hard.
half HP. I think the Faceless Void is waiting for a little bit of a better moment. He's baiting it out here.
He wants the guaranteed kill.
Yeah, and he's also afraid of the TP rotations. That is something that is worth checking. Right now we do have Skywrath Mage, of course, with the TP. Enigma does not have one. Razor has one. And, of course, Juggernaut does not. They're not expecting much out of Juggernaut. He's on his own venture to catch up, and he's actually doing a pretty good job. Agent Flow and Missing Number are going to rotate back around. They are, or Enigma is under vision of this ward, and your boy JC is going to get chronoed, and this is most likely the first blood of this game as the cast goes bouncing between Waythrower Blast to follow out, and the right clicks from Vaseless Void should clean this up. As your boy JC goes down to Kaya.S.
Silencer's going to be in trouble here bottom. Skywrath has rotated around
Yeah,
behind him.
Juggernaut is going to die to the last word tick, and actually is close enough to lose one or two of his intelligence to the Silencer. Now Coray going to try to turn this around for his teammate. He doesn't have an Arcane Bolt for another 2 seconds. He's spamming the right clicks, waiting to bait out the mana drain from the Silencer, but it doesn't look like he's going to fire back any spells. Coray and Silencer still playing a little bit of a juke and driving game, but it looks like it will calm down as 3 kills. Actually, I didn't even miss it as well. Robot in the middle lane. It looks like dying to a DD puck. So 3 kills in 1 minute of gameplay going in the favor of Revolt Esports. If they weren't winning before Niz, they're winning now.
Oh, absolutely. Those 3 kills are actually really huge, getting them all going in the lane. Sorry, at the start of this game, that kill middle by puck was actually really huge. That puts him really close to his blink dagger. He's at 1950 gold right now, so he's 200 away from his blink dagger. And Silencer managing that bottom kill against the Juggernaut. I saw the Skywrath wrapping around, and I thought he was going to be in trouble, but he just ran up and killed Jug, and now he's trying to go on.
Does go out. It looks like they are going to die bottom as the cask is bouncing between. Doesn't get a lucky bounce as it does bounce south towards Coray, allowing Retrop to escape from this gank. So a little bit of luck there, but does get out.
Well, you know what? They put some pressure on there, and had Missing No on the Witch Doctor not been there, they could have potentially gone on the Silencer. But either way, they baited
they
out.
might try to go again as the cast does go out. That baits out the spin. Looks like they're just going to take that as it is. Not dive this tower. Or they might change their mind as the creep wave is evaporating here. They are in a very aggressive posture. You don't stand like this in a game unless you want to dive.
I mean, Enigma is hanging around too. He knows something's about to be happening. Being really careful as he's stacking here. But yeah, as I said, they managed to bait out a global Silencer. That allows them to have a good engagement. Centaur
top might get dived on bottom. He already did. Chronosphere is down. Concussive Shot is flying as well as Tower Shots onto Faceless Void, taking a decent amount of damage. But EGA, with that recently acquired Blink Dagger, does have the Invis Rune. It was not spotted out, to my knowledge, by the Radiant side, so they just know that Faceless Void is off on their side of the map. They don't know that EGA is here. Meanwhile, there is some action going on bottom lane as Agent Flow has found out your boy JC. Stun will go out. Cast going on to the Edelons. It looks like it's just a little bit of zoning. As Razor is rotating back over and your boy JC throws down. The Midnight Pulse, not too much out of that yet, as he does not have his Malefice. He has gone 3 points into that passive, and actually I missed Puck nabbing that kill on Skywrath Mage over in the top lane. There is a TP from Purple, but there's going to be more action bottom lane as Agent Flow is taking quite a bit of damage, dropping low as 3 are chasing down. Retrop with the body block secures that kill for your boy JC as they go up 2-4. Or
that
not
was good.
Red
Chop just rotated out of the bottom lane, walked up and threw the Omni Slash, killing off the Witch Doctor, and then he was positioned right in front of Agent Flow and the Wraith King to just body block him to secure another kill.
Well, and another Blink Dagger is about to be up on this map. We do have the Centaur picking it up middle lane. That Static Link isn't going to do anything, but Silencer does nab the kill on Juggernaut. There's action going on every single lane. I need to pick the right action so you guys see the kills. But yeah, that Blink Dagger on Centaur just got picked up, and that's a big deal for Coray's team. They're gonna need to use that Blink Dagger as well as EGA needs to use his for his team. Might actually be primed to use it here. He does not have Dream Coil, so not would rather wait. Sentry or that Obs Ward needs to be taken care of. No, and actually middle lane EGA might go down as they do get the stomp into the double edge, and that's exactly what I was talking about. I should have seen that coming as the Blink Centaur cleans up the kill on EGA, and they need to slow him down and slow him down bad.
Yeah, you kind of know at this point in the game that Blink Dagger is going to be online really soon on the Centaur, but you can't really play that safe against it either. You know, you can't just hide in all your lanes until you know where Centaur is. So unfortunately, Puck getting caught out there.
under attack.
Middle push will be stalled out because the curse that silent, removing all of Centaur's men, and they're able to turn this. Your boy JC stealing that invis rune in the top lane. Maybe now Revolt Esports wants to turn things around. Puck did just respawn. If he TP's middle in the next 7 seconds, I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something. But a great ward coming out of the Radiant side, being able to see every TP that comes in, and it's actually out of vision of the Sentry ward. And yeah, so they will see the Puck TP in here, and they're completely aware of the potential initiation that could come out here. This fight is getting incredibly tense as 5 heroes from Revolt Esports are moving on to this tier 1. It's at 199 HP. Midnight Pulse comes out from your boy JC, slowing down this push a little bit. It is 3 points in it, so it is 6% of your max HP. That's quite a bit of damage, and that will actually deter them from initiating from this point. It doesn't look like they'll try to take this tower. No, they will.
If they do look to initiate here, the Blink Dream Coil from EGA on the Puck is going to be really, really important, because Void actually has enough mana to Chrono, but he doesn't have enough to leap Chrono. So he won't be able to do that. So the Blink Dream Coil is actually going to be the thing that's really going to allow Void to get in and get a good Chrono. So look for that as the initiation. And of course, they have Global Silence and everything else online as well.
Yeah, the thing to note is Centaur is not there. He would have to TP in, which means a minimum of a 2.5 second rotation plus time to get over there. And the tower is down to 192 HP. I don't think we'll see an engagement out of Coray here. If we do, unfortunately, it's going to be a lackluster engagement, as they will not have the full capability of their team, whereas Revolt Esports does, and that needs to be factored in. So we will get resumed here. Towers should fall down for free, as they are all backing up here, of course. Your boy JC staying around just to repel this creep wave and stop the pressure any farther than it already has been applied.
Yeah, Ping's coming out from Revolt here, looking to make a rotation bottom. They may just keep pushing another tower here. Just putting pressure on, just snowballing off some tower kills here, taking them while they can. But Void did walk back up into the top lane.
And actually, maybe Centaur might be going on him, as there's a silence onto Void, as well as the Arcane Bolt and the Double Edge, cleaning up the kill on Faceless Void. Rachop is now under vision of this ward, as he did have that ward, to see the rotation from the river. EGA, running up into the jungle, does have that Blink Dagger, of course. Could jump on him, but chooses not to, as again, 4 heroes from Revolt Esports are going to group up for this bottom tower. Fortify is thrown out by Revolt Esports, and it looks like that's going to be the backup key for Coray, as in the bottom lane. It looks like EGA is going to jump on Rachop. Silence goes out. Now the Global Silence from Silencer, as well as the Dream Coil, will be used to clean up the Juggernaut. TP is coming in from Coray team, as the middle trade has begun. That tower down to 237. Coray running over that ward again. There's multiple TPs coming in to save this tower. Silence does come out, as well as Midnight Pulse, and this should be enough to zone it out, as the bottom tower should be traded. But looks like Faceless Void leaping forward will catch out Robot. Pops the Mask of Madness, dealing quite a bit of damage. Looks like he's only going to get 1 bash, now 2. Enough to clean him up, as the Waning Rift, as well as right clicks from Silencer, finish that kill. And now Coray comes in, wants to get a return kill, throws out the Mystic Flare, does quite a bit of damage to Faceless Void, dropping down to 444 HP, but the Curse of Silence on the Centaur stops the continuation of that chase. And bottom tower will fall as Rachop TPs into the lane, now chasing the Witch Doctor, looking for a consolation prize, as he doesn't have any mana for any of his abilities. If Rachop can get into vision, no. He ends the pursuit there, and will back up. What an exciting fight.
That was really good timing and execution from Revolt. And unfortunately from this Radiant team, Coray, everyone was just kind of a few seconds too late. They were all kind of coming in one at a time, and it just didn't really come together there for them. But Revolt getting a little bit further ahead with the tower and a few kills there. And even the deny. Silencer TP'd in and got a deny on the tower, that mid tower. So another win for them.
And it is a double kill on Silencer, and with Silencer you have to note, -8 intelligence stolen so far in this game. It is a big deal, because he doesn't, or his damage goes up with his intelligence. Starting to go up quite a bit. Well, no, he hasn't started to put points in it, but he will be soon. Already sitting at level 9. Is a good time to check out the experience and gold graphs, as we see a 4,000 gold favor for Revolt Esports. However, the experience graph is still in favor of Coray, and as long as the game is stagnant, it will continue to grow in their favor because of their laning efficiency. It is now on them to kind of take that experience advantage and do something with it, as we do see Puck above these heroes. They have the perfect setup as the Faceless Void leaps in, and now the Dream Coil hits on too. Your boy JC still silenced up, wants to turn around and pop the Black Hole, but he's not going to be able to. He actually does get it off, and the Stomp hits on the other two will clean up the Faceless Void, and now Silencer dropping really low. Puck is off to the right. Might get out alive, as she does use the Face Shift, but now taking quite a bit of damage from the ultimate of Razor. Does blink over, but doesn't actually get to the orb in the river and will be cleaned up. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they did get that tower, but a 3-for-1 trade is exactly what Coray team is looking for here, because they just need anything to get a tempo advantage, and any tempo advantage they can get will be huge.
Yeah, that just felt really forced. You know, it looked like a good initiation, but Void didn't have chrono for 20 seconds there. So they weren't going to be able to chrono on the back of it, and then of course Enigma, you know, didn't die, largely because of the fact that he has a mech right now. And then he was disabled a black hole, and well, we saw what happened. But you were talking a little bit about the XP advantage. A lot of that XP advantage is the fact that they had the Enigma and they had the jungle, so they were going to be earning more XP on the map. But I talked a little bit about it in the draft with Coray, the Coray team being the strong, really good mid-game team, and they find themselves behind 17 minutes into the game, a time in the game where they should really be putting the pressure on and feel like they're the real strong team at this point, and they don't. They're definitely on the back foot right now. So we'll look to see how they transition from here to.
We'll see if EGA gets caught out here. He does get the Arcane Seal as well as a concussive shot. That will be enough to clean him up. Skywrath Mage nabbing that kill with the Mystic Slayer, and with a little bit of lull in the action. Is why do you think they are at a disadvantage? Like, what do you think went wrong in this game to get them where they're at instead of getting that snowball they wanted?
I mean, they drew even in the top lane and the middle lane, and then they just lost horribly in the bottom lane. And I don't think Enigma jungling made up for the fact that Silencer just got an incredible start in the bottom lane and their Jug got nothing. I don't think they expected Jug to get a ton, but I don't know. I don't think Enigma was able to do anything with the farm that he got, with the XP he got. You know, yeah, they got the mech up online early, but they've had the mech advantage for quite some time, and it's not really doing anything.
TP top by Agent Flow, but now Leap comes out. He does only catch your boy JC in the Chronosphere. He is dropping low and will die because Molto's Bash actually gets his mech off, but a Bash at the end does get the kill, and now the static link is going on to the Faceless Void as the puck TPs in, or blinks in, uses the Dream Coil, but will be Razor will be cleaned up by the Silencer, as the 4 heroes from Revolt Esports quickly convene in that top lane to defend their tower.
Yeah, that's just a scary thing about picking Void now. He can just do that stuff. You know, what other, you know, carry or even offlaner that has the potential to go as late game as a Void can do, have that kind of team presence and team fight presence as Void could there. Just a simple fact that he leapt in there and threw a chrono meant that they had a kill on Enigma, no problem, and they caused a lot of chaos in the fight, ending up leaving Razor stranded as well, so he died. And it's just that's all Void. You know, that's just Void being a great hero, but it was also good rotation and positioning from these players on Revolt.
Definitely well summarized in this game. Now looking to be much more in favor, much more greatly, however you want to speak English, in favor of Revolt Esports, as we do see the gold or experience graph now going down to 2,500 in their favor, and of course the gold staying relatively even, but still, it's not a good sign when they are a mid-game tempo control centric team. You really want to be snowballing already, and Roche will be first taken by the Dire, it looks like, as there is very little room for them to contest. They have Razor in the top lane. He does have a TP with an Aghanims, but actually this was really smartly done. They leaped in from this angle, so yes, this ward does see these 2 heroes standing here, but they just are now putting the pieces together, and the pings are starting to come out as they are aware, based on what information on the map, that this Roshan is occurring. The question is, can they stop it? The sentry ward goes down, is envisioned, and now they know this D ward is happening. Doesn't look like they're going to fight for it, which means Roshan will probably go over to Silencer, as he now picks up a full Aghanims.
They could have fought there. They would have known Silencer's ult was still on cooldown. But I think when they actually got wind of what was going on, they thought they were just too far out of position. But that was just very big for Revolt here, because not only did they get an Aegis,
Void leaps forward, and it looks like they're going to be able to clean up Coray, as the orb, or actually no, the right clicks from Silencer will be able to nab that kill. Robot immediately retreating back to his tower, along with his Centaur Warrunner, as they know the pressure is about to be brought. That Aegis is down. Your boy JC applying split pressure best he can with that Eidolons, and that's exactly what you want to do. Will help a lot.
And Silencer just completing the Aghanims. He got enough gold as they killed Roshan to complete that. So he's going to have a really strong ult.
Well, actually, Rachop in a really bad position here as he gets caught off before this fight's even going to begin. Chronosphere used to cancel his spin as he falls down 41 seconds on the side. He does have buyback, however. A buyback 21 minutes into the game would be very damning as he doesn't even have an Aghanim Scepter yet. He does have level 11, but the siege really starts to begin as Midnight Pulse is thrown down by your boy JC. Doing quite a bit of damage to these creeps, pulling them back now. It looks like Silencer's trying to move forward. The Arcane Seal is going out as well as the Stompity is forced out and dodges it. Now the stun comes back onto the Centaur, taking quite a bit of damage, but Agent Flow will get focused down by that. Mystic Flare gets down to low HP himself and respawns. Now the blink in from EGA as he seeks to reinitiate here. A lot of damage coming out onto Centaur War Runner, but he gets out at 140 HP, and now the stun on to Coray. EGA in the sidelines taking quite a bit of damage. The Black Hole on Agent Flow doing a lot, and a little bit of overextensions coming from Revolt Esports as they are chased down. Witch Doctor wasn't there either, which is completely worth noting. Not sure where he went. Now Rachop respawns, and this push is ended as the pings are coming out. Haste Rune spawns in the top.
Yeah, so we saw that start off with a pick off of Juggernaut, and what it was is Jug was actually just being just a little greedy as he's fallen quite far behind in this game because of the poor laning. But he, as soon as he saw Witch Doctor actually TP'd bottom to defend a tower, he thought, well, the other 4 heroes are backing up.
Void actually leaps over good, but he does get Omni Slash, and with that Mask of Madness active, Juggernaut nabs a solo kill on Faceless Void, and that's huge.
But yeah, Ratchop on the Juggernaut would have seen the other 4 heroes backing, and he just got a little greedy, stepped up and wanted to farm some creeps, and they just re-engaged on him. Well, I was a little surprised that Revolt kept going. Yes, they had the kill on the Juggernaut, but Witch Doctor wasn't there, and he was continually farming the bottom lane. I think if they were going to continue to push, they should have told the Witch Doctor, playing by Missing No, to come immediately, because he was just farming. He's just trying to get
Flow
some.
is actually in the bad spot, caught between 3 heroes from the Radiant. A great trap is sprung by them as he does set down this ward. They should be aware of and deward it relatively soon, but great use of that vision to set up that trap there.
Revolt's doing some good things, but they're making a few mistakes here that's allowing Coray Dota to come back into this game. As they've lost both their Void and their Wraith King immediately after losing some other heroes in a team fight.
Well, we'll go ahead and take this small lull in the action, but never mind. Nope. There is no small lull as EGA blinks in, but he does get immediately cleaned up from that double edge. But now Witch Doctor with his ultimate cleaning up this... God damn it, I can't speak. The Juggernaut. Oh, wow. Chronosphere comes out and barely hits on the Centaur War Runner. It looks like he'll be focused down in the background as that kill goes to Faceless Void. And the TP out from Coray will happen. But what I wanted to say before the action gets started, really, item pickups have been actually pretty even across the teams. We actually now see a Blink Dagger from Enigma coming out. Skywrath Mage has his own point booster. BKB almost up on Razor. Centaur War Runner about to have his pipe. And actually Juggernaut picked up a Yasha. However, this middle tier 2 tower will fall. Faceless Void going into his own BKB, and now we see Refresher being built up, but Initiation is the Malefice as well as the Midnight Pulse hitting on Faceless Void. He doesn't have any cooldowns as he does attempt to leap away. Last word will go on to Razor. But yeah, definitely both, even though Revolt Esports had an advantage before those few mistakes that we saw come out from them, the item pickups have been relatively even, which is really giving Coray Dota a good shot in these fights. But more action, as I'm just going to keep talking, and Niz isn't going to be able to. Coray getting stunned, taking quite a bit of damage. We do see the global go out, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to attach and get on or latch on in that fight with that global, and that's a 2-minute cooldown. A little bit wasted there. As Revolt Esports backs out of this push, and now Smoke Up is coming out of Coray Dota as they want to turn this around. They know what just happened. They want to go on to EGA. He is in that middle lane and has the ability to phase shift, so they want to be careful about initiating onto him, but it looks like Rachop is going to keep moving forward. They want to keep hunting out. They do see EGA blink over that ward. They're aware he's there. Your boy JC running over a ward himself. Maybe they'll think that your boy JC is just in a bad position out. EGA using the advantage of that fog to dodge, but now with the silence as well as the concussive shot, stomp, and double edge, cleaning him up as they use all of their spells that are necessary to get that kill and nothing more. Very great, very well executed from them. And again, this ward has just paid out dividends. 2 kills from it already.
Well, I was talking a little bit about how Revolt was just ahead, and then they made some mistakes. They threw away some heroes, and it really hurt them. As you look at the gold graph, and you could see that it came right back to 0 because of those few mistakes. You know, they
actually Rachop, big mistake as he's caught out in the middle of his own jungle, taking the Malefice as well as the Chronosphere will fall here 3 wards by the Dire, giving quite a bit of vision. Your boy JC with a little bit of an optimistic TP as he is caught out alone. The Death Ward is used, which might be a waste here as they didn't actually get the Maledict on him, or the Malefice on him, so there is no follow-up damage to that, and this tower will fall, but a trade is going to happen because of that. Elkabard in the trees with the TP and Rages, so it's going to be hard for them to actually kill him. But that was relatively decent for Coray's Dota, except for the kill on the Juggernaut. But those wards just doing so much for them. The Revolt Esports, that is.
Yeah, I found, as we've gone and learned a little bit about these teams throughout this game, I found Revolt has played really, really well when they're all 5 together. And that's when they're winning the game. But whenever they get in these weird situations where they'll have one hero across the map, it seems like they're making not necessarily the best choices. It worked out well bottom there as they were able to pick off the Juggernaut and get a tower. But I think they also should have been able to pick up a kill on the Enigma there, but they missed that, unfortunately. But yeah, I think they just need to get together. Abuse the fact that you have global silence. Like, it's an incredible ability. Abuse the fact that you avoid with the Corona. And I don't know, maybe they're just waiting for a refresher on Silencer, but he's still about 2,000 away from that.
Mm-hmm. That would definitely be an important timing. As we do see Rachop running through the jungle, he is spotted out. And again, these wards over here by Revolt Esports are giving them great intel as to most of the heroes set up for Coray Dota as they move into the jungle. Faceless Void has picked up that BKB since the last time we spoke.
Well, like, what are they doing right now? They've got 3 heroes, and they're trying to apply pressure when they've got their Witch Doctor back in their base and Silencers in the top lane. Like, they just, I don't know, I feel like they're just trying to do a little bit too much on their own or in small little groups. They just need to stay together as 5 or, try to play objectives in some way. It seems like they're just kind of wandering around playing their own game right now.
Well, Faceless Void does switch place with Silencers. He goes bottom, and now the 3 hero core stays in the middle lane, as it seems like the 3 that are always stuck together are EGA, Agent Flow, and Missing Numbers. They want to use those 3 to create space while the other 2 farm. But like you said, it just doesn't seem like they're getting much done, and maybe now Centaur might be able to get a kill on Faceless Void as he is staying under the tower. Stomp is used, so Blink Stomp is not available. Faceless Void will just go ahead and leap and run away as a DD is secured for Revolt Esports in the top rune.
You can tell by the way that they're playing that they definitely realize they need to put pressure in some way. The problem is they're trying to put pressure in different parts of the map, and I think that's not necessarily the right thing to do. I think maybe they should just go as 5 and just push objectives, and that's how they, put pressure on the other team. Because the other team's going to have to, the Coray Dota team is going to have to respond in some way, or they're just going to lose all their towers.
Well, all 4 heroes are up here, or all 5 heroes are up here for Coray Dota. It's, again, Silencer is bottom, and it's not entirely bad to have the Silencer in another lane. You definitely are on the right track there, Niz, but the one thing about the Silencers, you can, of course, global across the map, but if they're going to keep him across the map, they need to set up something with the Faceless Void and the Puck, and then global after those 2 initiations to, like, cancel the Black Hole or something, but
I mean,
it just kind of seems like they're running around right now and not.
If you're going to pick Silencer and put him in a safe lane, tri-lane, and give him all this farm, is that who you want standing across the map half an hour into the game? Just to be using a global silence?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they could just be together and use that. Like I said, maybe they are just waiting for the refresher, and that's their timing.
Rachop looks like he wants to bait this fight a little bit as he is standing really closer to Agent Flow, and now we do see EGA throwing out the orb. He might choose to reinitiate with that, but no. Looks like they smell out the bait a little bit as they have no vision on the rest of the Radiant heroes on the map. Coray Dota is doing a good job staying back out of these vision wards.
I just feel like how they've been just kind of messing around and having their position on different parts of the map. It's just a matter of time before one of them gets picked off. Luckily, it hasn't happened yet, and they're going to go for Roche here, and it looks like they're probably going to get it.
And with that Roche, they also have the refresher coming up on Silencer. So if there was a moment where this game would stop in the lull and get bigger or get more exciting, it's going to be right now. As the Roche is getting relatively low, we see the Witch Doctor heal doing its thing, healing up. One side note is that the Juggernaut used his healing ward to scout this out. Very intelligent, honestly. But now, global Ags, Silencer with a refresher. It's going to be a very, very hard fight for Coray Dota, because if they mis-execute and cancel the Black Hole or lose any of their important initiations, it's going to be game.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit before about StarCraft 2 and timing pushes and stuff like that. Both the times Revolt has taken Roshan, it has corresponded with Silencer hitting some kind of timing. The first time they killed Rosh was when he got his eggs. The second time now is when he finished his refresher. So they should definitely look to make advantage of this Aegis. And this is a really, really strong point in the game for them, so they should make good on it. This isn't the time to be, split all over the map, and they realize that. They're grouped as 5. Like I said, maybe they were just waiting for the refresher on the Rosh, because, well, they got it, and now here they are pushing.
They also have Blink Dagger on the Wraith King, as well as a Yule's on the Puck for her extra utility, allowing her to survive, but also disable another target, acts as a mini sheep. And this is going to be it, guys, as they do push up onto the precipice of the high ground. Now transcending that onto the high ground, the push begins. Tower dropping 200 HP already. Fortify is used. Robot will come and use that static field, as well as the concussive shot coming out. Our Agent Flow taking quite a bit of damage, but the first global from Silencer is already used. Nothing used with it, as it does end, and now they use the second global, and it looks like they just want to take this tower here. But if they're not careful, the reinitiation could happen. The reinitiation could happen any second. Now they will just go ahead and peace out. But can Coray Dota get the reinitiation here, as they know the double global is down? They want to push forward. The blink forward comes out of Enigma, as he could get the Malefice, but the Yules onto him will stop that. They do use the Maledict as well, or the Malefice as well. But now Witch Doctor taking the Maledict, and gets stunned up by the Centaur Stomp, as well as the Double Edge will clean him up. They need to chain this and go, 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 because 2 ultis are down. Top tier 3 does fall during this as well.
I feel like I'm being a little negative here and pointing out a few mistakes that Revolt is making, but I don't think they needed to use both global silences there. Like, I talked before about how Silencer needed to be there and attacking and using his items. In that situation, he just needed to stand in the back and have other people stand up and attack, and he just had to be there knowing, forcing the other team to know that he can just press R and, throw down the global silence.
Well, now the middle tower will get sieged up because of that, and Malefice does come out onto Silencer. Second stun now is the Blinken, or the Leap Forward, and Chrono holds out Robot. Now the Aegis is used on Wraith King as he goes down, and the coil hits on too. Maybe the black hole could be big, as it hasn't been used. That the Stomp does clean up the Wraith King, as Puck throws himself into the air, does blink away, and now Witch Doctor throwing out that ult, taking a lot of damage, and that ult with the Aghanims doing quite a bit. But he falls as well as the Wraith King, and now the Aegis falls on the Silencer. Does not have access to either the global or the refresher yet, so both globals are on cooldown as this tower falls. And now, honestly, Coray Dota is the one that could just continue to pressure here, as the mechanism should be coming off of cooldown relatively soon. Blink forward from Puck does help clean up this creep wave, but now the Omni Slash is going to come forward, and they're just going to clean up Silencer, and he goes down. Buyback is available for him, that's worth noting, but the Blink forward and Stomp onto EGA, and he gets cleaned up, and that's 4 down. As Coray Dota taking the small mistakes right now, smelling blood in the water, continuing to push, continuing to pressure hard. EGA wants to stop this. He bought back to prevent this push. Now the Curse of the Silent comes out from Silencer, and the last word, this will prevent the Blink initiation from Centaur. Needs to use a spell, he won't. So he does get disarmed as well, and now Blink forward from Agent Flow as he wants to go on to Robot, but he's taking a lot of damage both from the ulti and the Midnight Pulse, dropping to 143 HP and will get away. However, a tier 3 trade is a tier 3 trade right now, and that's how this is going down, except for some extra kills. The Malefice going on to Faceless Void, but now the first global comes out of Silencer as it did refresh. He's doing quite a Static Link taking quite a bit of damage from Faceless Void, as he does get out with barely any HP, and now the Blink forward from the rest of them as the Chronosphere gets on too. But a great stomp onto the background stops the Silencer, as well as Witch Doctor from continue forward, but now the Black Hole is hitting on all 3. Retrop is just going ham. Can they get the rest of the follow-up? They get the Global Silence as the Refresher just came off cooldown, but EGA falls anyways, even though he gets the 2-man Dream Coil, and now Elkalard, who did buy back, does fall as well. Does get the kill on the Juggernaut. Blink forward from Agent Flow to try to get Centaur Roadrunner, but the Blink does dodge that Wayfire Blast. The Mystic Flare gets thrown out onto Faceless Void, but it does miss from Skywrath Mage. And what an intense action is. It actually does continue. The chase for Faceless Void is continuing, as now it looks like he's caught out, and he does pop the BKB, and he's going for the right clicks. Now they're both just going to melt the Skywrath Mage, because he has no armor at all. The BKB is still available, so no damage going to be able to be dealt to the Faceless Void as he cleans up both those kills. And honestly, I have no idea, and I'm not going to try to say what happened there, Niz. So you explain to the viewers what just happened, because I just screamed about it. That was too much action.
So, the Radiant team, Coray Dota, they just saw, well, Silencer used both his ultimates. Why don't we put a little bit of pressure on? And they did. They got a tower, and then there was some residual kills that happened, and Void got really, really low and ended up at bottom rune around there, because he had to go the long way around to avoid the enemy heroes. and then they just kind of pushed top lane, or pushed uphill into the middle lane, and then there was just kind of some weird initiations from both teams, and it felt like both teams were just kind of overextending, and then the Coray Dota team overextended really far, and then it ended up in them all getting caught in the jungle. Void had a good ultimate. The first Silencer ultimate was okay. The second one came a lot later because he was still on cooldown for about 15-16 seconds after he used it the first time. But I'm not sure if he should have used it the second time.
Well, lead forward from Kia onto Retrop. Will use the Chronosphere. They do follow up with the Witch Doctor ulti, so 2 ultis used to secure the kill on Juggernaut. However, it is secured. Quick note before you continue, Niz, we do have buyback on Juggernaut, so not the most effective use of both ults, but it will keep him on the sideline for 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that they jumped there. It's a little risky, but their wards must have spotted that no other rigging heroes were around and that they were up by the secret shop.
Oh, your boy JC wants to go and does use the Hex on EGA. The Malefice does come out with a blink. Stop. Followed up by the Global. Stops the Centaur from following up this initiation. EGA throws out the orb but does not blink forward to it. Will use the Waning Rift as well to help clean up. And now the reinitiation as the Concussive Shot gets dodged by the Phase Shift. And also the Plasma Field as he blinks up into high ground. Cask is thrown as well. But now the Malefice onto EGA. Does get both stuns, all 3. Will they be able to follow that up? They do get the Rod of Atos onto Agent Flow as the Dire Courier does fall, but the Blink Forward and Stomp does miss because of the Phase Shift. Great plays by EGA. Does get a 2-man Droop Call, throws himself in the air as well as the Orb, dealing quite a bit of damage. Coray is low, and now the Centaur ult is popped as Agent Flows. Aegis is already used, taking quite a bit of damage, and now Witch Doctor's down. The ultimate from Skywrath Mage is used, dealing quite a bit of damage, and already 2 down, but a great Black Full from your boy JC cleaning up the puck, and now Kia is caught out. BKB is over. All he has left is Mask Madness. He does pop that Chronosphere, but it's on the kill for your boy JC and Coray. Can Robot turn this around as he pops the static link, and they will continue to chase his Retrop. Pops the jump charges. He does have phase. He also has his Omni Slash. The last word, as well as the Curse of Silent Global, come out to stop any further initiation, as he will be silenced up for another 6 seconds, as well as losing quite a bit of mana. Won't be able to continue that fight, but honestly, I think that worked out in favor of Revolt Esports based on the heroes they lost.
Yeah, these fights have been so weird. The engagements, once again, that was kind of 3 heroes on Revolt hanging around in the middle lane, putting some pressure on, and Coray was just kind of hesitant. You know, every hero on Coray was definitely really hesitant to go in and do anything, because they're just like, is there really just 3 here? But you know, then the fight kind of happened, and it was a really chaotic fight. There's heroes going all over the place, and slowly the Revolt heroes kind of trickled in from across the map. And by the time Void got there, his ult was off cooldown from the gank that they had just gotten mid, and somehow it worked out for them. He was able to clean up the kill on Enigma and on Skywrath in 1 chrono, and they were able to disengage. They did have to use the refresher though.
Kia might be able to get a kill here as he does leap forward. He has the BKB. It does pop up, but the static link is going off on him. Does it drain his damage enough? No, it does not, as now the Centaur ult is popped at the last second, but the Chronosphere used to disengage here, as 1 free kill is nabbed. Centaur ult and Chronosphere used, so equal trade and cooldowns. I want to kind of toss this question to you right now, Niz, before the action continues, although I might be wrong. The action might just start right now as Roshan does respawn. This is the 3rd Roshan, so there is a cheese available. But I guess there will be a lull. Niz, who do you favor right now going into the later portions of this game? Because we were talking about how, you know, Coray was mid-game and Revolt had the late game, but they're seeming really strong in this late game portion, or early
Yeah,
late game.
it's really, really weird. It's all going to come down to the engage, really. I think I have to favor the Radiant. I think just in general how the fights have been going, if it's not super chaotic, I think they're going to win the team fights. And I think when they're on the aggression, here they've been doing a lot better in the fights as well. So
they'll keep up the aggression. Here is the silence as well. As the Concussive Shot goes on to Witch Doctor, he will pop immediately in the range rack. Sorry, he's already down as Witch Doctor does not have a buyback. EGA blinks forward, does not get his Dream Coil, and now the Void leaps it forward. Now the Omni Slash as well, killing both the Puck as well as the Wraith King. He does fall, and now the Witch Doctor, or sorry, the Faceless Void falls as well with buyback from Puck and Faceless Void. But now in the background, Silencer taking quite a bit of damage. Dream Coil finally comes out from Puck, kicking on Robot and sorry, Centaur War Runner, the leap forward from Faceless Void is he does have the Chronosphere coming off in 1 second. He shouldn't use it, as they should be able to nab this kill pretty easily. Never mind, he will go ahead and use it. As look like Centaur War Runner is going to get out. They might choose to reinitiate, however, with this as the leap forward goes on. And now the Rod of Atos and just the right clicks. Looks like Faceless Void actually will fall to the Midnight Pulse damage, not able to get out of it before he falls. And now the Sheep onto EGA will be another cleanup, and 2 diebacks coming out from Revolt Esports. Honestly puts Coray Dota in a great position in this game.
Yeah, they just executed really well in that team fight. Like I said, when they were on the aggression, they were performing much better into the team fights.
Oh, look at
I
that.
thought it was...
Robot just literally bought back and bought travels to get a second set of racks.
I thought that, you know, everything was over as they were backing out, and it looked like Centaur was going to get caught. I thought the re-engage was...
Agent Flow is actually going to get caught right now, as actually Witch Doctor does throw out his ulti, doing quite a bit of damage, but he gets immediately focused down by the Silencers. They're running in, and they've already lost 2 sets of racks. Trop continues to dive, but yes, desperation to say the least is when you're down 2 racks. It's scary no matter what lineup you're against, to be honest. I mean, it requires so much higher level of execution.
Fall back for Roche.
They can't. I mean, do you think they could go for the GG? Would you rather them go for the GG, I guess is the question. Because they can't take top racks.
This is safe. This is really safe. And I think maybe they could have just pushed the throne. But yeah, this is very, very safe. And
well, I guess then to phrase it a different way, do you think the impact of taking T4s outweighs the impact of Roche in this situation?
Well, I mean, the tier 4s doesn't really mean much, I think, in this situation. It's either, can we kill the throne before they can defend or not? And if there's any question, I think the right play is to go fall back and go to Roche. And that's what they did. So, I think they made the right decision.
Well, that's definitely the experience showing through for them, because sometimes when you're in that situation, Mystic Flare going out by Skywrath Mage, kind of forgetting that you can't use that on creeps. But what I was going to say is that it's so hard when you're in the moment as a player sometimes to step out of the game and be like, okay guys, we can just take Roche and play back. We've got this game in the bag. Sometimes, you know, the excitement can get to you. So
yeah, they had 40 seconds. I think they could have done the throne, but you know, why risk it? So I think they made the right decision there.
And actually, Razor is only a recipe away from a heart here. I wouldn't actually be surprised to see him pick up the heart, as he does have his buyback not up for another 4 minutes. Has the Aegis in his inventory, and a heart makes 2 lives of killing Razor. Hell already, and yep, we will see the Heart of Tarrasque recipe purchased as the courier flies out. Also, with a full butterfly going over to Retrop, so huge item picks-ups. Didn't mention that the Desolator is picked up. Might as well go through right now. 4 staff as well for Coray. After that Rod of Atos, we of course see the BKB and Assault Cuirass coming out of Centaur War Runner. We've just touched base on Razor and of course already Juggernaut. But over on the Dire side, it doesn't look like their item progression is continuing really at all. Before the Raxes were taken,
it's all on Silencer.
Yeah, Faceless Void just picked up a Chrysalis, and Silencer, yeah, he has a Refresher, and now a 4 staff well, he had a 4 staff before, a Refresher and a Ghost Scepter, but I feel like they need more on the Faceless Void, honestly, is what it kind of comes down to. Like, they need the Faceless Void to be able to burst a bigger target in the Chronosphere.
Well, I think you're right, but you know, they chose to put it all on the Silencer. That's why he was across the map and Void was with the team.
Well, there might actually be a major fight breakout here, as this ward is spotting out EGA's movement, and EGA wants to move in. They do leap forward. The Chronosphere actually doesn't hit on anyone. First global is a whiff as well, as they will disengage here, and that is the end of the first. Well, that is the end of the first global in this game, and a little bit of a BM pause coming out there, I think. But not much we can do about it. Say anything, so we will just stay back, not say anything about it. But yeah, so while this pause is going on, what are your thoughts about the chances of Revolt Esports to hold this push coming out of Coray Dota? I mean, obviously given the Chronosphere and the use of global.
Very, very low. I think that initiation just guaranteed the fact that they're going to lose this game. But I talked about it right at the start of the game, the puck pick. What did I say I really liked about the puck pick? I like the fact that the puck could jump in, puck could use the Dream Coil, and that could allow Void to get an even better Chrono. What do we see there? Void leapt in first, and he threw down a Chrono. He missed everyone. Now what? You don't have Chrono. It's fine if you whiff a Dream Coil. You know, that's a lot less valuable than a Chrono. But now that they've thrown away Chrono, it's going to be a real uphill battle.
Number get out? He does activate the TP. They should have vision of him any second now. They do not actually get the kill on him. His Razor is still pushing forward. Agent Flow taking quite a bit of damage. The second global comes out. Retop taking a lot of damage, and he might actually fall. Cheese used, and now the silence actually continues, so he won't be able to get off the global. Reinitiation from Centaur in the background gets quite a bit of damage onto the silencer. The black hole is cancelled as well, and now the Witch Doctor ult just cleaning house as they clean up the Enigma. They clean up Robot. Aegis is popped. Centaur Warrunner low HP chasing the Faceless Void, but he actually God, I cannot remember. Backtracks. The double edge there is now Robot trying to chase down the Faceless Void. He wants to go for it. Plasma Field does net that kill, as now Robot is the lone standing member. Well, I guess not the lone standing member. Centaur Warrunner is up as well. For Coray Dota, as they tried to get that high ground push there, but ooh.
Coray Dota committed so hard to that, and they just need to buy time. They had their other 2 lanes pushing. You don't need to commit that hard to put pressure on the racks. You know, buy some time, let your creeps do a lot of work. The creeps on their own got 1 tier 4, almost a second tier 4. You know, they just didn't need to push as hard. They knew they didn't have Chrono, they knew they had already used 1 global silence. And then the second global silence after the refresher I felt was really rushed. And they you could tell Revolt, as soon as that second silence came out, they had to just engage, because that was it. You know, you're already down Chrono in 1 silence. If you throw away your second silence, the chance of holding is even slimmer. But they pounced, and Witch Doctor ult managed to do a lot of work.
Well, it looks like they want to try to catch out Robot. They did have vision on him.
Somehow they held on.
Yeah, no, and I honestly think in some way that pause might have helped them more than hurt them, honestly, because their level of coordination coming out of that, and maybe the overextension from Coray Dota as well, just really came to bite them in the ass. That Witch Doctor ult just cleaned house. I mean, if we pulled up the stats after that specific fight, I'm pretty sure Witch Doctor would have done insane amount of damage, considering he connected on 4 targets.
And they managed to burn through an Aegis and a Cheese.
Completely resets that Roche that we were talking about just a few minutes ago. Word does go down from Agent Flow as he does blink away immediately from that Skywrath Mage. They are not aware of this word, but they should be aware of the invisibility now on Juggernaut, as Robot, again, just continually applying pressure in this top lane. He does have that heart up still, doesn't have any other items, but he is getting close. He's about double his buyback in gold right now, so he could start affording a small piece of an item.
Ratchop is crazy. If they know he picked up this and this.
Oh, actually, Agent Flow wants to start this fight. Does immediately blink in. Now the Chronosphere goes onto Robot. They just want to clean him up. Static Link is going as well. Robot taking a lot of damage. Doesn't even get the BKB off and will fall. Silencer netting that kill. And that's a good way to stop a push right there. It's not like Coray Dota is going to turn around and initiate knowing that there's a Dream Coil. There is another global. But actually, you know what? Robot's just going to say, alright guys, you use those abilities. I'm going to buy back. However, his Voodoo Travel is on cooldown for 20 seconds. So it will take a second for him. Well, 20 seconds to be exact, for him to actually be able to teleport here and be a part of this fight. However, the bottom lane pressure and mid lane pressure is helping out a lot, as now Coray Dota moves into the base as they do throughout the concussive shot onto Wraith King. However, he has his ultimate up this time. Siege immediately starts onto the T3 as they're chunking 90 HP. A hit, Fortify is used, and that's a big deal, because now they're not going to have it when Robot gets here with his Aghanim's ultimate. He doesn't have his next item. He's not going to have another item for a long time because of that buyback, but if they can get the Mega Creeps here, that next item is not going to matter at all. Wards go down, is now Robot posturing into the base, pops the ultimate. He wants to go. Stun comes out. He dodges it with the BKB, but now the Silencer ultimate is coming out, stalling a lot of the reinitiation. Faceless Void wants to turn this as he does pop the BKB and the blink round into the blink in the background by EGA, and now the black hole hitting on 3. That might be enough to clean it up, as the Wraith King will revive after this, but now the Silencer is down as well, or Faceless Void does buy back as well, but 2 on the sidelines, 1 buyback, make that 3 on the sidelines. Faceless Void will leap forward with his Chronosphere, but is it enough damage as the Razor's ult is just cleaving through the rest of his HP and lowering his armor? Does get the Juggernaut and the Razor, but Centaur Warrunner gets the last 2 kills, and that should be enough for them to clean up this Rax. The only member standing for Revolt Esports is EGA, and honestly, they don't have a team to deal with Mega Creeps. They don't have a Naga, they don't have a Medusa, they don't have a Tinker. They just have incredibly strong team fight.
Yeah, your boy JC did a good job there, recognizing the fact that Silencer only had 1 ult, and he was showing a tendency to using his ult really, really aggressively, rather than at the right time when Enigma goes to throw out a black hole or something like that. So as soon as the Silencer ult went out, you know, he ended up BK being a black holing, but it wasn't immediate. But you know, he took that advantage. He said, you know what, he can't interrupt this. He jumps in, throws out a big black hole, and wins a team fight for his team in the game.
Well, that was a very
That's it.
exciting game. Exciting game. Well, guys, that honestly does it for us in this game. We obviously will be moving on to round 3, as presumably. This stream will be taking a short, 5 to 7 minutes, so me and Niz can get a water. I can rest my voice so I don't kill myself for you guys, and all of that. But Niz, anything you want to say before I kick it over to music and the waiting screen?
No, that was. I really think Revolt had an opportunity to win this game. They got off to a good start. They were definitely in a position to win this game. They just felt a little unorganized. They were kind of all over the place at times. If they just refined that, I think they could have walked away with a win here. And I can't take the win away from Coray Dota. I think they did a good job of responding to the fact that Revolt was out of position, and they got those pickoffs, and it got them back in the game, and it led to them winning. So it was a good game all around. It was fun to watch.
All right, well, good to hear. I definitely agree. Loved the game. That'll be it for us, guys. Like I said, we'll be into the next game in the next 5 to 10 minutes. If you're enjoying this, please follow the stream or check out any of our media outlets. Of course, it's /DotaRaptors for all of my stuff, or @DotaRaptors, and /Nizcast, @Nizcast for all of his social media. So please, guys, check us out if you're enjoying this, and we will see you in the next game.